As the new year approaches, we also have a whole lot of new ideas, and as you're sitting over there trying to get them all down on paper, you may have a little voice in your head telling you, but that's already been done. So-and-so already wrote a book on that. There's already a course or a really great helpful video. Why would you need to create it? If that little voice is stuck in your head, I'm going to need you to tune your Pandora station to Christmas radio and go with me on this one. I'm Nikki Elledge Brown, the Communication Stylist, and in this video I want to give you 3 reasons why you should go ahead and create that thing anyway, even though it's already been done. And yes, I'm using Christmas songs as an example, because earlier this week as I was listening to Pandora's Christmas radio station, I just had an aha moment that I realized, wow, how many hundreds of people have recorded Jingle Bells? How many hundreds of people have recorded Silent Night, which, just for your trivia information, happens to be the most recorded Christmas song of all time. Santa Baby, the Christmas song. Yes, we like to think of Nat King Cole and Bing Crosby, but you've also got Taylor Swift or Twisted Sister. There are Christmas albums for all kinds of audiences, and it's the same song over and over, but what makes it unique is the voice of the person singing it. And the same thing that would make your book, your blog post, your video, your course unique is your voice and the experiences that you bring to the table. Before we get into the 3 reasons why you should go ahead and create it anyway, here's a quick disclaimer on what I mean by it. So by it, I'm talking about something you know your audience wants and or needs, and something that you are actually legitimately qualified to offer to create value in the marketplace. I'm also not talking about copying or simply just taking and upcycling somebody else's intellectual property, because that's legally, energetically, and ethically gross. So don't do that either. We're talking about an idea that stemmed from you, that wasn't based on just reviewing what other people are doing and seeing what goes. This is something that is a true reflection and extension of the value that you have to offer. Okay, having said that, reason number 1 why you would want to go ahead and create it anyway is because some people literally won't hear this idea or learn this concept or have access to this particular product or something like it unless they hear it from you. It's easy to assume, especially in the online business space, that every potential client or customer already knows of those other resources or other people that you know of, but they very likely don't. So if you don't share it, these people actually will not learn about it, okay? Number 2, even if someone has already heard that particular idea or concept, maybe they won't get it until they hear it from you. And this is where your voice really comes into play. When I'm talking about your voice, and I wrote a blog post on this last year, so I'll link to it below, but I'm talking about your credibility, so your actual credentials and education, certification, actual work experience and life experience that helps you actually know the subject matter and what you're talking about. I'm also talking about your language, literally and conversationally. So a translation. So they need to learn about this concept, but in a different language, and maybe it hasn't been covered before, or maybe just conversationally. I obviously don't cuss in my copy, but maybe someone who really does like to curse like a sailor, I can say that because I'm married to one, maybe that resonates with someone in a different way. So maybe they're not really going to get it unless somebody's like really hardcore and in their face with it. And that's fine too. And then last, when I'm talking about your voice, I'm talking about stories. So metaphors and analogies. My first video blog post was how running a business is like breastfeeding. That's obviously going to relate directly to my fellow moms who are business owners, and that was very intentional. So all of those things in your teaching style will help someone get it. And if you just sat back and said, well, somebody else already talked about it, then you're depriving someone of a light bulb moment they would have got if they heard it from you. And then lastly, you have to trust that the right people want to hear it from you. And it's not an either or situation. It's not that, well, they already heard that blog post, so they don't need to hear it from me. We like to have options. We like to have choice in the marketplace. Not too many or it gets overwhelming. But just because somebody heard it from someone else doesn't mean they don't also want to hear it from you. And also as a creator, it's important to keep that in mind. Just because somebody takes one course that relates to yours doesn't mean they won't want to take yours in addition, and vice versa. Think abundance. There's enough for all of us. And some people may want to learn about copy from me and from someone else, or 5 someone else's, and that's fine. More power to them, because there's no competition when we're really sharing things in a way that is true to us. because we are our own unique differentiators. Those stories and experiences that we bring are what set us apart from the so-and-so the next tab over. So wish that so-and-so the next tab over well. It's a good practice in general. So that's it. Number one, people may literally only hear it from you, so you got to share it if you're feeling called to share it. Number two, even if they've heard it from other people, they may not get it until you share it in the way that only you can share it. And then number three, you just got to know and trust that the right people are going to really appreciate hearing it from you, in addition to all the other options that they have. That's great. You're just kind of supporting that mission. So that's it. In the comments below, I would love to hear from you. What's one thing that you've been holding back on sharing or creating for your audience because you were afraid, well, it's all been done? And most importantly, what I would love to hear from you is what's one unique story or angle that you bring to the table that you know will set you apart from everyone else who's already done that thing. Okay. That's your mission. That's your homework should you choose to accept it. If you're watching this in the week that I release it, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas 2014. And if you're watching it some other time, I hope you have a really great day, week, month, wherever you are anyway. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll talk to you next time.